Most Iranians appear to despise a regime that has brought such immense suffering to them. In this case, several police stations in the city were severely damaged and fires broke out as a result of U.S. airstrikes on Tehran. Local residents who gathered at the scene welcomed the incident with joy instead of extinguishing the burning building. Footage circulating on social media shows a police station on one of Tehran's central streets engulfed in flames, with people cheering and chanting slogans. Witnesses say the public is treating the dismantling of the repressive authorities as a major blow to the regime. At the same time, some citizens are reported to have refused to help the police and are celebrating the news of Khamenei's death. One person said, "Try to find anywhere else on this earth where the population would be happy with an external attack on their country." In a police state under bombardment, with severe internet restrictions in place, it is impossible to fully gauge the mood across a vast nation of 90 million people. But a week on, while some people are still celebrating every strike on the regime, others are increasingly frightened, questioning the motives and endgame of the war. This incident once again proves how deep the gap between the people and the current regime in Iran has become. While it still has large numbers of die-hard supporters, its many opponents are split between those cheering on the US and Israel, and those who are deeply suspicious. US President Donald Trump says that Iranian people are happy, grateful to him for airstrikes. Prior to the attack, US President Donald Trump told the Iranians, "When we are done, take charge. Your government will be yours," is not seen as a promise within Iran, but rather as part of the rhetoric of power that accompanies every military confrontation. Whether or not they trust Trump's words, Iranians understand that the United States does not grant governments to peoples, but rather establishes spheres of influence for itself. Nevertheless, the current situation presents Iranians with a rare opportunity, the chance to see that, whatever its motives, external pressure may create a gap in the wall of a closed theocratic regime that is no longer capable of protecting itself or managing a country the size of Iran. While many Iranians see the current moment as a rare chance to remove the Khamenei regime, the Iraqi experience looms large as a stark warning that cannot be ignored. After their country was occupied by U.S. forces, Iraqis found themselves living in a state that had collapsed and been torn apart, ruled by militias and open to all forms of outside interference. This model, once presented as liberation, has become an example in the Iranian consciousness of how the fall of a regime can lead to the collapse of the state itself. It should be noted that since March 2 alone, as part of Operation Epic Fury, police stations 104, 113, 151 and 140 in Tehran, as well as the headquarters of the Special Police Forces, have been destroyed.
استادم بگی استاد
بابا اینقدر جلو نباشه
محمد حسی چیه؟ خیلی خوبه حس چرا؟
The fall of the Bashar al-Assad and Nicolas Maduro regimes, as well as Russia's inability to provide military assistance to its allies, Iran and Venezuela, demonstrate that Moscow is an unreliable partner. The CSTO has effectively collapsed, and the Kursk operation demonstrated that no one is rushing to help Russia. Alexander Leonov, executive director of the Ukrainian Center for Applied Political Research, Penta, explained to Channel 24 that by losing influence in the Middle East, Latin America, and Central Asia, Russia is degrading to the level of a regional power completely dependent on China. Kremlin propagandists are publicly admitting that Putin could suffer the same fate as his allies, indicating panic within Putin's camp over the rapid erosion of allies and the shifting geopolitical balance. Russia has proven to be a completely unreliable ally. The very countries and regimes that relied on it have discovered this. Despite signing military aid agreements with Venezuela and Iran, Russia refused to fulfill its obligations when Iran attempted to activate the relevant option. This is a serious signal to both North Korea and China. Russia will not come to their aid in their hour of need. Moscow understands this, but is trying to hide it, Leonov said. Putin lives in constant fear. He avoids traveling even to loyal countries due to an ICC warrant and has refused to visit Brazil and South Africa despite guarantees of immunity. His greatest nightmares are arrest and transfer to a third country or physical elimination, as has happened to his allies. Events in Venezuela and Iran, where the top leadership was eliminated, apparently not without betrayal within his inner circle, will only increase his paranoia. Putin's suspicions will spread to his inner circle, so it's entirely possible we'll see more strange suicides or arrests around him. But most importantly, Russia is increasingly losing its ability to build alliances, Leonov explained. As a result of the full-scale invasion, the Collective Security Treaty Organization effectively collapsed. During the operation in the Kursk region, no country came to Russia's aid, and it was forced to turn to North Korea. Losing influence in the Middle East, Latin America, Central Asia, and the Caucasus, Russia is degrading to the level of a regional power completely dependent on China. Politicos say that the last time the United States and Israel bombed Iran, a reporter asked Vladimir Putin how he'd respond if Iran's supreme leader were killed in the attack. "I don't even want to discuss it," the Russian president replied. Less than 9 months later, after Ayatollah Ali Khamenei died in an Israeli-led, US-backed targeted strike on Saturday, Putin had little choice but to respond. The assassination will have triggered two of Putin's deepest instincts, deep-rooted paranoia about his own longevity and a drive for victory over Ukraine, whatever the cost. Both were on display in a short statement posted on the Kremlin's website, in which Putin denounced the killing of Khamenei as murder committed in cynical violation of all norms of moral morality and international law. It was a stronger reaction than that after the capture earlier this year of another Russian erstwhile ally, Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro, and yet Putin notably did not name the countries behind the killing. In Russian circles, the death of Khamenei evoked comparisons with another dictator's downfall. Recent events will only have deepened Putin's paranoia. The toppling of two Russian allies, Maduro and Khamenei, in rapid succession prompted some pro-Kremlin commentators to break what has been an informal rule since Donald Trump's return to the White House: avoid openly criticizing the U.S. or its president.